My video for May the 2nd, 2019 is video number 3073. The title is, "The Problem is Not the Muslims or the Jews or the blank." You fill in the blank. A friend sent me a couple articles saying that the problem we have is Muslim terrorism. Yes, there are major portions of Islam that have been terrorized, especially in recent decades going back to the middle of the 20th century. When people face such challenges, they react. To me, much of the radical nature found in Muslims can be seen as a response to the worldwide attempts to label all Muslims with the same kind of smears. That's never true, no matter what group we label. In no group do all people think exactly alike or have the same lifestyle. Of course, there are similarities. They may agree on core issues. However, I have listened to people within that faith who are much more moderate, including the way they dress. It's the same with those who call themselves Jews, Christians, Buddhists, or Hindus, even the so-called elite class. There is no one-size-fits-all description that is absolutely true in all cases. Simple labels do not do justice or end the discrimination that is so rampant all over the globe. Will humanity wake up and build on common ground rather than continuing to fight insane wars for those who want to totally control civilization? What's civil about insanity anyway? Oh, when will the labeling ever end? When will we stop dividing ourselves into groups that are based totally on the way we dress, on some central core ideology? When if we really look at the bigger picture, it seems to me that those who create such dissension have an agenda. And the people that have the agenda, to me, yes, they are the elite class, so-called, or they see themselves as an elite. They may label themselves as Jews or Christians or Muslims or whatever. The label is not important. I have known people or interacted a little bit with some people that are part of elite families. And they're the younger generation. And they see the sins of the father, as it were. They see the problem. And of course, they don't want to come out in the open. I mean, I made a video when I was in Australia that we had to edit out a part of it because I indicated that a certain individual who was kin to an elite family there in Australia had some very good ideas. And there are people in various groups, if you will, that have a different perspective and a different slant on the way things are and on the way things can be if we learned to get on the same page and actually start cooperating instead of competing with each other. Now, competition has its place in sports and in games. But life, to me, is not a game. It's a very serious business. And when I say business, I don't mean a business like in something that is set up to make a profit. I mean, it's just the endeavor of living, just living. And I would rather live in peace and harmony to the extent that I can than constantly be butting my head against those that have a different viewpoint. I don't find any benefit in argumentation. You don't listen when it goes into an argumentative state of conversation. It's no longer conversation. It's now argument. And arguments automatically put up the protective barriers against that which is coming at the other person, whether I'm the other person or whether somebody else is the other person or the other group, whatever. As soon as you start attacking, defenses are put in place. Now, is this human nature? Well, it's certainly the nature of humanity as we've developed through the history we've been told. But how much of that even is true? There are challenges even to the official narrative of what has happened as recently as the 19th century. That's not very long ago, folks. And of course, there's more discussion and dissension over what happened in the Second World War and what has been happening the whole time of our life, in the 20th and 21st century. Who knows what's happening? I don't really know. I thought I knew some things, but the more I listen and the more I try to remain as open-minded as possible and listen to alternative perspectives, viewpoints, the more I realize, hey, there's valid points on that side, just as there are valid points on the other side. Can we get the valid points and meet in the middle and form a compromise that allows us to coexist in peace and actually learn to hopefully love one another? I mean, what a concept. Instead of putting each other down and trying to eliminate the other. And that was one of the things that the person sent me, this thing about Muslims, that they want to take over and eliminate everybody else. Well, there are elite classes of people that also want to eliminate all the useless eaters. And the population of the earth, of course, is growing. We're told it's 6.5 billion people or something like that. I don't know, 7 billion, whatever the number is. It's a big number. And people all over the planet are growing. And of course, the Muslims encourage their child production. So they have larger families than some of the Europeans, no matter what the religion is. Folks, I want to see my life have meaning. And the meaning that I seek is to see the kingdom of heaven established on earth. In order to do that, those that have lived on lies and perpetrated lies and profited from war and profited from constantly creating dissension, that radical element which claim to be elite needs to be both exposed and be given a chance to actually repent and turn, so that we as humanity can begin to thrive, that we as individual human beings can live in peace with one another and actually embrace people of different religions, different nationalities, different races. I mean, I'm told that there are beings, intelligent beings, that don't look anything like human, and yet there are many that are humanoid. And is that true? I don't know if it's true, but I do want to learn to love. I want to be able to listen and learn about where people are coming from and hear the concerns of others and take them to heart and find solutions that are win-win situations for all of those involved. To me, that is intelligence. That is wisdom. It's insane to continue the way we've been going for such a long time. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.